Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you guys like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So currently we are less than 4 months away from the election. It's been a couple weeks since I've last done a polling map video, and it was also before the debate when I did a polling map video. So without further ado, I think it's important that we kind of dive into this and see what has exactly changed, because a lot has changed. And now you got Joe Biden going out there. The calls for replacement are intensifying, and it seems as if he is going to be doing a press conference. Who knows how that could go? It's already been delayed. He just called the president of Ukraine, Zelensky, he just called him Putin. And it took him 5 seconds. He corrected himself, but it was just still awkward, a really painful gaffe. And you can't be having any gaffes at a time like this when every little thing that you say is going to be put under a microscope, because the media is done covering for Biden. He's on his own. And part of the reason that he's falling in the polling is because of that, but also the debate, because everybody saw it. And now the media, to save any face of credibility, they can't run away from it. Donald Trump leads by 3 points nationally, and in a lot of the swing states, he's up by more than that, but he's putting states in play that nobody could have seriously thought was possible a year ago, a year and a half ago, or even just a few months ago, technically, in some cases. So we are going to fill this map out, but first I have to tell you guys about our latest sponsor over at Panther Minerals. Today's video is sponsored by Panther Minerals Incorporated, and I'm delighted to introduce their Boulder Creek project. It comes with a historic resource estimate showing it contains the largest known uranium deposit in Alaska. If Panther successfully develops this advanced exploration stage property, it has the potential to become a crucial domestic source of uranium for the ongoing energy transition. Based on historical drilling and exploration, there are strong indications of possibly substantial uranium deposits at Boulder Creek. Uranium is crucial because it's a key component for nuclear energy, and America's appetite for clean, reliable energy is frankly staggering. The demand for raw uranium is exploding due to its use in generating nuclear power. Both Elon Musk and Warren Buffett have shared their views on the importance of nuclear power. Musk tweeted that limiting the use of the energy source is insane from a national security standpoint and bad for the environment to shut him down. Meanwhile, Berkshire Hathaway has long invested in nuclear. When the world's richest people sound an alarm about our collective financial future, we should listen. The U.S. government has shown support for ensuring America's mineral independence. The concept of onshoring or bringing supply chains back to the U.S. is a common theme across the political spectrum in election campaigns. Even the Department of Energy has announced the Next Steps program to build domestic uranium supply for advanced nuclear reactors. There's even rumors that uranium could be added to the U.S. Critical Minerals Act. Currently, the U.S. is the world's largest producer of nuclear power, but it imports 90% of its annual uranium requirement, relying heavily on Russia and Uzbekistan for nearly 50% of the supply. America's fight to revive domestic uranium production has begun, supported by a recent ban on Russia uranium imports. This supply shortfall is likely to be addressed through increased exploration and development of uranium deposits within the U.S., with Alaska being a prime target. It's crucial that we establish a stable domestic supply of uranium to both meet demand and not become even more dependent on Russia, Kazakhstan, and other pro-Russia countries. The fact is that the U.S. is so dependent on them that some would call it a national security threat. This dependency is only bad for our self-reliance and future prosperity. What happens if we get embroiled in further conflict with Russia? You see what's going on. This administration, they're just trying to ramp up some conflict. We're crying out for our own domestic uranium supply source. That's what makes Panther Minerals, as an exploration-based company, increasingly attractive. It's going to take some time, but with more drilling at the Panther Minerals Boulder Creek projects, there could be some potential of a nice multi-million-pound uranium asset. Historical estimates already show it as Alaska's largest known uranium deposit. When you're looking at comparable companies like Uranium Energy Corp trading at over $7, Encore Energy at over $6, and with uranium up 60% in the last year, Panther Minerals is a potentially great value proposition. They trade at just 40 cents. With the West facing an unprecedented clamor for domestic uranium, Panther Minerals is primed to potentially be the next American success story. That's why I'm urging you guys to check out Panther Minerals using the link down below. So anyways, guys, back to the video. We're going to fill this out state by state. For these maps, we go in alphabetical order. We go state by state. Alabama and Alaska, the first two, both will be going red by more than 10 according to the polling. Both will be in the safe Republican column. Then you have the state of Arizona, which we are lucky enough to have an aggregate for, and Donald Trump leads by 5.4% in the state of Arizona. Nobody really would have thought that would have been the case at the start of the year, but here we are. It's not even lean Republican in the polls. It's likely Republican in the polls. The state of Arkansas is safe red. California, though, on the other hand, safe blue, and we know that. Colorado, polls there have narrowed a little bit. Biden's internal poll that got leaked, he's only up by 2 in Colorado, but it does seem as if you take the average, the aggregate, it would be in the likely blue column. So we'll go down to the state of Connecticut, where Joe Biden currently leads the state by what seems to be the last polls, Emerson, and that was 2022, 9-10. We'll still put it in the safe column. Delaware, you have one poll, and it's in the safe blue column, but not by much compared to 2020. Florida, on average, Donald Trump in the polls, he's up by 5 to 10, so we'll put Florida in the likely Republican column, and then we'll go down to the state of Georgia here, where we do have an aggregate, and it shows Trump leading by 4, put it in the lean Republican column. Idaho, safe red. Illinois, safe blue, but we haven't seen a lot of polls in a very, very, very long time in the state of Illinois, so do keep that in mind. But we do have Idaho going safe red, another 4 electoral votes for Donald Trump. Indiana, safe red. Iowa also safe red. 2 big pickups for Donald Trump there. And then you have the state of Kansas and Kentucky. Trump is leading by 10 points or more in both of those states right there. And then you go down to Louisiana, he's up by more than 10 as well. So you could fill that in. But as for the state of Maine, it does seem as if Donald Trump has led the average of the polls we've seen recently. Not a lot of polls, but he's up. Even in the ranked choice voting, technically the final round he'd lose by 2 in this poll, but he's up in another poll by 8. We're going to have it in the tilt Republican column. Each district will go, according to the polling, in the safe column for Joe Biden or Donald Trump. But Maryland will be safe blue, no surprise there. You have the state of Michigan. We have an aggregate Donald Trump leading by a narrow margin, but he's still leading the state of Michigan nonetheless. You can go to Minnesota here. You see a lot of very close polling that we've seen. I would probably put it as tilt blue, but we haven't seen a lot of polling since the debate. But it seems like if you average out all these polls, Democrats are up, but not really by a whole lot. It'll look more like 2016 than 2020 at the rate things are going. But Mississippi, safe red. Missouri, safe red. Montana as well, safe red. So these 3 states get to be filled out all Republican by 10 points or more. Same thing with Nebraska's 1st, 3rd, and at-large designations. The 2nd district, the one poll we've seen that technically there's another poll that has Biden up by 5 in a multi-way race. Still, I would probably factor that in, make it tilt Republican, because there's another poll that has it up lean Republican. So that's that for Nebraska's 2nd district. Then we could go down to the state of Nevada. We have an aggregate. Trump is up by 5.2% in the state of Nevada, a state Republicans haven't won since 2004. Hasn't even been within 2 since 2004 at the presidential level. Then we go down to New Hampshire, where Biden's led some recent polling, and then Trump has also led some even more recent polling. I guess you could, split the difference, make it tilt Democrat, just based off of the numbers there out of some of the recent polls that we've seen. But New Jersey, this is incredible what we're seeing here. Emerson had a poll, but it was quite some time ago. But the polls that we've seen post-debate, Donald Trump leading both of them New Jersey tilt Republican according to the polls. They are right-leaning polls, but I mean, they've definitely had a lot more pull compared to Emerson, because Emerson was, 3-4 months ago? So if there was an aggregate, Emerson would have fallen out. New Jersey would be tilt Republican, which would have been a massive flip if it does hold up and happens. I still am a little cynical about that, but still, New Mexico, you have a poll that shows Biden up by 7, a poll with Biden up by 2, and both those are recent, so split them. Joe Biden's leading by a lean margin, 4.5% would be the middle of those two. And then you can go down to New York, which again, Democrat internal polls show like a dead heat. We covered that in the last video, but the polls that we do have show Biden up by less than 10, which would mean that New York would be a likely Republican state. North Carolina, we are lucky enough to have an aggregate Trump once again, 5.8% lead. That's more than he won it by either time. Combined, actually, or roughly around where that is. Maybe a little bit more than that, actually. I think it is. So add that to Trump's column. Then you can go to North Dakota. Trump's up by a safe margin. Same thing with Ohio. So you could put those states in Trump's column, as well as Oklahoma. He leads by far more than 10 in Oklahoma. He's in the 60s. Oregon, Joe Biden leads by a safe margin in the most recent poll. We'll put that on the map there as safe blue. But Pennsylvania, this is really, really something. Trump leads by 5.3 percentage points. That's a likely margin. I don't know if that's going to hold, but still a massive, massive shift. And that's part of, one of Joe Biden's quote-unquote home states that he loves to point to. So Pennsylvania, huge news for Trump. That'd be game over if he just wins that in Georgia, no matter what any other swing states do, so long as he holds his 2020 states. But Rhode Island, safe blue. South Dakota, safe red. So we'll fill those two states out on the map. And then we will go directly to the state of South Carolina, where Trump is up by a safe margin. We already actually filled out South Dakota. Scrolling a bit fast here, but then Tennessee, we will fill that out in the safe red column. No surprises. Texas, recent polling has Donald Trump up by what seems to be around 10 points. We'll split the difference because there's a couple polls in there that has it like a 6-point lead, but the aggregate would show likely Trump in between 5 to 10, much closer to 10 than 5 overall. Then the state of Utah, which shows Trump up by a safe margin there. We could fill that out. And then you have Virginia, which honestly, a lot of the polls we've seen conducted, every poll this year has been within 4. A couple have been tied. Overall, the aggregate would be tilt Democrat, which is a massive development because Biden won the state by a safe margin in the 2020 election. Up next, we have the state of Vermont, safe blue. Washington would actually be likely blue given some of the polling, but we've seen that movie before. But Vermont will be the other state we fill out here. And then we have the state of West Virginia, safe red, no surprises. And then Wisconsin, we have an aggregate for. Polls usually underestimate Trump there, but he leads by 2.2%, also known as a lean margin. So there you go for that. And Wyoming, the final state here, Donald Trump leads 68-15 in the one poll conducted. It will probably be the safest red state in the nation besides maybe West Virginia. There's a few states here that do not have polling. Massachusetts apparently is on the sidebar. I think we just happened to miss it, and that will be safe blue, no surprises. DC, we will fill out safe blue. Hawaii, we don't have any polling, but just for the sake of the video, we will fill it out safe blue. So this is what the polling map is showing. This is not my prediction, but the polling map shows 329 for Trump, 209 for Biden. Trump will get the 2020 states. He will add Georgia, Arizona, Nevada, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Maine at large, New Jersey, and Nebraska's 2nd district, according to polling, and will be in striking distance of flipping Minnesota, Virginia, or New Hampshire. A lot of these polls are pre-debate. Who knows what's going to happen? Biden's kind of got a very small dead cat bounce in polling this week. He gained 0.4%, but he's still losing the popular vote by 3, which means he's losing a lot of the swing states by more than that. It's tough for him, but what can I say? So this is the polling map, 329 for Trump, 209 for Biden. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Red Eagle, out.